You want to know what really changes everything. It's not blocking her. It's not texting some long message, hoping she'll finally get it. It's not explaining yourself, pleading your case, or proving your worth. It's silence, but not just any silence, the kind that doesn't beg to be heard, the kind that speaks louder than any reaction ever could. See, there's a moment, a quiet moment, when you stop trying to be understood and start becoming unavailable. Not out of revenge, but because you finally chose yourself. And that hits differently. Today, I'm going to walk you through why the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. Point 1. You break the pattern. When you go silent, you don't just disappear. You break the pattern. The pattern where you answer every call, even when you're exhausted. The pattern where you explain your feelings, only to be misunderstood. The pattern where you're always available, even when they're not. And that pattern, it became their safety net. They counted on it. On you. On the fact that no matter how they acted, you'd come back. But when that stops, everything shifts. Suddenly, they're left wondering, why hasn't he called? Why didn't he react? Is he really done this time? What they don't realize is, you didn't go silent to teach them a lesson. You did it to protect your peace. And in that silence, their illusion breaks. The version of you they created, the one who always forgives, always chases, always stays, it dies, and with it, their control. Because now, you're not just silent, you're unpredictable, and that is terrifying. Point 2. They feel the shift before they admit it. You don't need to say a word. You don't need to post anything. You don't need to explain a single thing, because they feel it. Long before they'll ever admit it. They feel it when their message goes unanswered. They feel it when their story gets no views from you. They feel it in the quiet, the space where your presence used to live. It's like walking into a room you once shared with someone and realizing the air is different, colder, still. At first, they play it cool, post louder, smile harder, pretend everything's perfect. But that's just noise. A desperate attempt to fill the silence you left behind. And slowly, the silence starts to eat at them, like static in the background of their mind. Constant, annoying, inescapable. Not because you said something, but because you didn't. They expected anger. They expected drama. But all they got was nothing. And that nothing becomes the loudest thing in the room. Because silence is the sound of detachment. And detachment, once felt, is almost impossible to undo. Point 3. Your stillness becomes their storm. People crave a reaction, even a harsh one, because a reaction means they still matter. It means they still have access to your energy. But when you give them nothing, no anger, no explanations, no outbursts, just stillness, that's when it starts. The storm. Not in your life, in theirs, because your silence forces them to sit with questions they've been avoiding. Did I go too far? Did I lose him for good? Why isn't he reacting? And their mind, it begins to spiral. See, rage gives closure. Drama gives attention. But silence leaves space for doubt. And in that space, their confidence starts to shake. What they don't realize is you've stepped into something powerful. A place the Stoics called apatheia, the ability to stay unmoved by chaos. You're not numb, you're in control. And that control, it's terrifying to those who can't manipulate it. Because the moment you stopped reacting, you stopped being predictable. And the moment you became unpredictable, you became powerful. Point 4. Time starts working against them. At first, they feel free. They think walking away was the right move. They tell themselves you'll come back, like you always have. And maybe, for a moment, they even feel relieved. But time doesn't play favorites. Every day you stay silent. Every moment you don't respond. Every notification they hope to see from you that never comes. It all starts to add up. The door they thought was left half open, it's closing. Not with a slam, but like a sunset. Slow, silent, and irreversible. What once felt like space to breathe starts to feel like space they can't reach across. And then it hits. You're not waiting anymore. You're not angry. You're just gone. That's when time becomes ruthless. Because now they realize every second that passes without you is a second they can't undo. And the worst part, you're not even punishing them. You've simply accepted reality, like a Stoic. No rage, no pleading, just presence, and then absence. And by the time they want back in, you've already outgrown the door they left you behind. Point 5. You become unreachable. There's a difference between being gone and being unreachable. Gone means they can still hope, still check your story, still convince themselves it's not over. But unreachable, that's something else entirely. That's when your energy no longer belongs to them. You're not ignoring them. You've simply moved beyond the place where their voice reaches. It's like a bridge that used to connect you. One they crossed too many times without care. And now it's burning, quietly, without smoke or flames. You didn't light it in anger. You just stopped maintaining it. And now it collapses under the weight of their absence. You're not just distant. You're untouchable. Even if they try to come back, the path is gone. Because you've become something they didn't expect. A man who no longer needs to explain, to prove, to wait. You've become like a candle that once warmed them, now burning elsewhere. And what hurts most? They can still see the light, but they can't feel the heat. Point 6. You flip the narrative. They thought they were the ones walking away. They thought you'd be the one left wondering, regretting, breaking. But here's what they never saw coming. You didn't fight. You didn't chase. You just vanished. No final words, no emotional breakdowns, no desperate explanations. And that silence, it rewrites everything. Because now, the person they expected to be broken is the person they can't stop thinking about. You didn't send a message. You became one, like a book they thought they finished, only to realize they skipped the final chapter. And that last chapter, the one you wrote without them, is the one they keep rereading in their mind, trying to understand how the story slipped out of their hands. They assumed your worth came from your presence, but now they realize your power was always in your absence. You didn't win with noise. You won with grace. Like the Stoics taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. And by living it instead of speaking it, you flip the entire narrative, because the one they thought they could ignore has become unforgettable. And the story they thought they controlled now ends without them. Point 7. Your glow-up becomes their gut punch. At first, they wondered where you went. Then, they started watching, quietly, secretly. They scroll past your life, and they see it. The glow-up. You smiling again. You focused. You leveling up in peace. And that image hits like a punch to the chest, because in their mind, you were supposed to fall apart. You were supposed to miss them. But you didn't just survive. You rose. Not loud, not vengeful. Just better, like a phoenix. Not reborn from rage, but from silence. While they were pretending to be fine, you were becoming the version of yourself they never believed could exist without them. And now, you're no longer a part of the story they're writing. You've become the plot twist they didn't see coming. The man who didn't beg, didn't chase, didn't break, just rebuilt in silence and rose without noise. And the moment they realize that glow-up had nothing to do with them, that's when it hurts the most. Point 8. You become the lesson. At some point, it clicks. Not for you, for them. They finally realize they didn't just lose a person. They lost something real. And here's the thing. That realization doesn't come through your words. It comes through your absence. You don't have to teach them anything. Your silence already did. It taught them what respect looks like, what self-worth sounds like, what it means to lose someone who won't beg to be seen. They'll try to move on, distract themselves, pretend it didn't matter, but it did. Because no one forgets the person who walked away without yelling, without blocking, without chasing. Just pure, grounded self-respect. You didn't become a memory. You became the consequence. And now, they carry your silence like a scar, a quiet reminder of what they lost and what they'll never get back. And by the time they're ready to admit it, you've already become someone they'll never reach again. Because you accepted what they couldn't. That some chapters don't need closure. That some losses are actually returns. Returns to yourself. Memento mori. Remember, all of this is temporary. The pain, the silence, even them. And once you accept that, you stop chasing what was never meant to stay. So if you're sitting in silence right now, wondering if it's working, it is. It's working in ways you'll never have to explain. They feel it, even if they'll never say it. And when they finally realize what they lost, you'll be too evolved to even look back. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.